Amongst the ships released at this year's Invictus launch week was a variant of a model I'm quite fond of. The Mirai Guardian MX, the chonker missile boat version of this totally not a TIE interceptor from the Star Wars franchise, looked to be the superior model of the now three, at least on paper. Citizens, my name's Beard of Oz, and today I'll be talking about the aforementioned Mirai Guardian MX. I'll do my due diligence, go over its specs, what CIG says it's good for, and then I'll tell you why this is the ship I thought I'd love, but I just can't. Let's dive in. So, let's get the aesthetics out of the way. Model off the base ship the Guardian, let's call that one vanilla. The MX, much like the Fury's MX, is what happens when CIG says, hey, this thing needs more missiles. And more missiles it has indeed. But much to CIG's credit, they didn't just stop there and put a shiny new price tag on it, much as I'm sure they were tempted. With a redesigned body, the MX now sits higher off the ground, and the iconic four wings have been tuned somewhat, allowing for the insertion of 4 hardpoints instead of the vanilla version's 2 size 5s on the side. Also tucked away on the top of the ship are the missile pods, instead of just being racked to the wings. I will say, aesthetically, I really like this ship. It's almost like a Mark II thought went into the design changes. The cockpit has the blast shield, much like the Fury MX, that can be raised or lowered and adds something of an ominous mystery for ships looking at it from the outside, especially now that it's harder to tell via the ship's scanners if a player is in the seat or not. Going to the rear of the ship, its raised stance gives the impression that the back cabin is slimmer. It has the same elevator that leads into the prep room, with suit locker, gun rack, and component access. But beyond this door is where the first of my gripes begins. The removal of the bunk and thus the ability to bedlog is owed to the addition of extra components, more on that later. The atmospheric red lights remain something I enjoyed in the base and QI models. Entry to the cockpit is much the same, accessible from either the internal space or the front from outside. Owing to the blast shield, the MX sports a digital display, which is very schmick, and the bubble-style side glass windows allow for some nice peripheral views should you be using some head tracking hardware. With the blast shield up, when exiting a QT jump, the displays will hang and display a desktop-style loading screen shortly after resuming the camera feed. A cool feature visually, but one that can waste vital moments when jumping into combat. So let's get into the on-paper specs. The Mirai Guardian MX has been given a bit more component offerings, with a single size 2 power plant, a size 2 and a size 1 cooler, 2 size 2 shields, and a size 2 quantum drive. At the time of writing, it's also worth noting that the MX has 21,000 more HP than its siblings, as inferred by the cheat sheet's declaration of resilience owed to shields and armor. This has been offset by a reduction in maneuverability, lending to that heftier feeling you'd expect from the increased mass of heavier hull plating. Out of the box, it is armed with 4 size 4 laser repeaters, namely the CF Rhinos. It also comes stock with 24 size 2 missiles, the attribute for its namesake. So, what is the ship good for? Well, given its designation as a heavy fighter, it does this well enough. While there's no denying that 4 size 4s are nothing to sneeze at, the sacrifice to mobility, something the Guardian wasn't boasting to begin with, leave it feeling just a tad too sluggish for my liking. 2 size 2 shields and an increased hull HP allow it to withstand fire from smaller combatants. However, it becomes something of an unnecessary slog, and against heavier fighters and gunboats, those small additions don't seem to help it as much as you'd think. Now, while I'm willing to admit a percentage of these findings might be skewed by my less than stellar combat skills, I can only assume that others of my limited ability might find themselves similarly vexed. But what about the missiles, Beard? I hear you scream at your second or third monitor. Indeed, lovely viewer, the missiles. Having 24 size 2 missiles is great and all, but the bespoke nature of the missile pods takes away from the versatility that might have been possible for a missile boat. Don't get me wrong, the fact that I can have 24 rattlers is great, but taking away even the breath of an option for, say, 12 size 3s is a damn shame. The up and over way that the missiles launch is cool as well, but in situations where you might want to dumbfire them, the aim is way off. Missiles are very useful at the moment, but the pricing of them in a pre-crafting world delivers depreciating returns as the bill to restock is close to 100,000 alpha UEC if you use them all. And let's be honest, why wouldn't you? But I digress. The ship is beautiful, there's no denying it. The design upgrades make the older models, which aren't even that old, look like decades separate them. The gun rack alone on the outside just feels slicker. The raised profile means you aren't perching precariously on uneven ground when landed, and the blast shield looks awesome. However, all of these small additions lean to the impression that this is a ship you'd live in. It has a solid fuel supply, storage space for all your favorite toys, but no bed, not even a seat for a friend. It feels like a job that was handed over to a second design team that removed the bed because, I don't know, beds I guess. So where do I land on this ship? It's a solid fighter in its class. The majority of combat-based factors are subject to change in the future, when things such as armor, maelstrom, and weapon penetration see some changes. The flight model too, ever subject to change, might see redemption of some sort, as in the lore, Mirai's style of thruster tech makes it stand above other manufacturers in atmospheric flight. I enjoy the design for the most part, such as the weapon locker and internal space for such needs as replenishing oxygen and hydration. But the bed being removed is a huge negative for me. And while I understand many others may not share that opinion, it's a huge factor for me. I wanted to love this ship. I was excited for this ship. I keep flying this ship hoping that I will have that aha moment, but I don't think it will ever come. At the time of writing this, it's only available to pledge, and at a hefty 300 USD, all I can say is, wait till Wicklow offers it and hope that you get something else when you gamble your favors. I have no doubt at all that by the time this video is uploaded, I'll have melted the Mirai Guardian MX to try something else. And there you have it, the Mirai Guardian MX, the little chonker that kinda could. Where do you stand on this latest offering? Do you agree or am I off the mark? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the content or learned something new, I'd appreciate a like to feed the algorithm gods, and if you'd like to see more of my content, consider subscribing. As always, stay safe in the verse, citizens, and I'll catch you all next time.